Okay, good morning, everybody. Gonna do the daily stock morning update here. It's Wednesday, October 9th, and just gonna focus here on the SPY again. So, how's everything looking in the pre-market? Well, the pre-market is still going up, right? Just a little bit. So we can see that price is 573.52 pre-market. And possibly it wants to get to that 1.618 around 585.38 up top, and possibly it'll get there before any kind of retest. So it seems like price is getting somewhere in a hurry. So possibly that will be the next target before there's any correction. But so far, it's just still in this range from this previous January 22nd high and low there for price to continue higher. So that's what I'm looking at now, maybe 585 before any kind of major correction, but it's just still in a range for me between these two levels, so it makes no difference either way. And we can see that QQQ is basically flat pre-market. It's unchanged, and still it's working on its way getting back to that 497 as well. So this is still near the upper end of that range as well. So it's looking like price just wants to maybe gravitate a little bit higher before maybe consolidating, but your weekly support is still going to be like the 465, and up here 497 is still your resistance. And the IWM is right in the right above the 702 still. So 216.13 is really looking like a solid support so far. So I'm gonna expect that to hold, and maybe it doesn't need to even go back down to the 618 around the 208. But these are all log scale, right? Yesterday I was showing linear scale, but I'm just showing the log scale now just to show a little bit different variation, but they respect the same levels basically. Like on linear scale, I think it's around 212 down here, but here it's 208. So it's like a little bit of a wider range for the log scale. So next we're going to go to Tesla just to see how that's going to do this morning. And yeah, on the log scale, Tesla, we are going to just pay attention still to that 242.44. That is the target every single day this week so far, except for Monday. It's closed above, right? So just yesterday and maybe today is another day. It's going to go back above that 242.44, but maybe there is going to be another wick today. But I'm expecting this zone to hold just because it seems like it's pretty powerful, pretty strong. So I'm going to focus on that 242.44 for the rest of the week. And if that can hold, then I think the next move is going to be the 270s above. So just that's the focus for the whole week. All right, I see some requests here. Good morning, Sentinel One, Lily. All right, so Sentinel One, we could just put on the Ichimoku here and just see what it's telling us. And it's telling us that it just did bounce off the top of the cloud a couple times, actually 3 times already. So it's looking like that cloud is a pretty good support level. And every time price has gotten back there, it's rebounded. But what I also see though is this kind of like a head and shoulders almost, right? So we can see that price is kind of getting rejected by this level, right? Here, here. It's kind of a big resistance level. So it needs to really get back above that in order to get higher. So I'm gonna say around current price, maybe 24.65, just around there. It needs to start getting above there to enable to in order to go higher. So if not, it might need to come back down and retest levels again. But this is looking like it's a resistance zone here. So just got to break above that. And Lily and Eli Lilly, yeah, it's for a weekly resistance, it is 914.23 right there. So possibly it needs to continue above it, but it still has some time left for the weekly candle close. So I think that we need to focus on that price for the rest of the week. because right now it still could just be a wick, right? Since there's a couple more trading days left in the week, this still could just turn into a wick and close below. So but we'll see, right? We'll see for the rest of the week that, yeah, it has potential to go higher, but it's making a kind of series of lower highs. So we'll just watch that level on the daily chart here, the 914.23. If more candles can close above it, then I think it can go higher. If not, then maybe go back lower. But it does look like it could have momentum to go at least to the 930s, 940s, but we just got to pay attention day over day and for the weekly close on Friday. Yeah, I see a request for frog. And frog here is on the daily chart. It's losing lots of momentum, it looks like. Let's see here. Yeah, even the moving average is there. We'll have to look at the weekly chart. Yeah, even the weekly chart is kind of testing the 2763 conversion line right there. So I think price needs to close above that for the week in order for it to give momentum. So that's the only number to pay attention to, 2763. Right now it's below, but still there's 3 trading days left to close back above. And I think if it can close above, then it has the potential to go up a little bit higher. But until then, we just need to focus on that level, right? And right now it's below it. And if it does close below, it has more downside risk, right? A lot more downside risk. So just got to pay attention to that 2763. Yeah, Microsoft MSFT. So here we go. Microsoft on the weekly chart, it did open the week below these levels here, below 421, below 426. And on the daily chart, it is holding the bottom of the cloud there. And we can even put on the SMAs there too and show the more resistance above. So the purple is my 200, the 50 is that green. And it's just approaching this daily resistance right here from 414 to 417. So not too sure if it's going to have the power today to get through it. So what it's looking like to me, that it's trying to build a base on top of these levels here, but just not sure if it's going to trickle down these levels here day after day, back down to the 408, or if it's going to just try to keep breaking this resistance above. But that's the range it's going to be in, maybe for the next couple of days until it can break this resistance or retest the lower levels of support. So either it has to break up to 417.93 above that to go higher, or it's going to just maybe consolidate and go a little bit lower. And PANW. Yeah, Palo Alto, it did break out yesterday. It broke out of its resistance of the daily resistance, right? That the cloud and that baseline at 346.88. So it does look like it wants to kind of go higher up to 362, maybe up to the 368. I think the momentum is to the upside still. Weekly chart, also there's really little resistance above too. It's also trying to break above the 350.26 for the week. It did open that week on Monday below it, but it is breaking above. So the important thing is to continue holding that 350.26 to continue this upward momentum. So just got to focus on that for your support to continue higher. Oh, yes. Thank you, Tracker, for the show. Yeah, you should have joined. And let's see, what else? How are you trading, holding Tesla through Thursday, Friday? I'm just holding. I did all my accumulation for Tesla, and I don't care if it goes down or up. But like I said last night for Tesla, it could be volatile, right? It could go back down to the 230s. It could go up to the 270s, but it could go here first before it goes there. But I still think the 242 level is really important for Tesla. So the weekly, as long as it holds for the week, I think the 270s come next. But even the day of, it could go back down and up, whatever, right? There's lots of possibilities for Tesla, but I think the upside is imminent. Elf, I went over this last night and on the triumvirate. I'll just go really quickly because it lost the 100. week moving average as support. And essentially what that means is it lost all of this support up here from the GAN levels, which is bearish, right? So I think price, what it wants to do is possibly gravitate towards at least this black line, which was a previous resistance, flip to support. And it hasn't made it there yet. And that line's around 95 bucks. So I think $95 could be the target to try to hold a support. If that ever gets lost as support, it's going a lot lower into the 70s, maybe the 60s or so. But this chart still is like a high time frame kind of bullish because it's still making higher lows from all of these over here. But it's crucial to hold that 95. So I think even if price came up to like the 125s again, it would probably get rejected and maybe a rollover. But this chart is short-term bearish, but still long-term bullish as long as $95 holds. Let's see here, coin. Yeah, I went over coin last night too, and coin and pre-market is up. And essentially, all that matters is this 45-degree angle and my 618 here on log scale, the 658.42. This is the crucial point right here, this intersection right here, and it's been holding. Right, you did get some candles that closed below, but just one, and the rest have closed above. So that 158 is really proven to be solid support. And I think that is your like max pain scenario now, but I think price is going to gravitate higher and higher and higher. To the 50-week moving average is at 189.36, and then you got the 197.27 above. So these are your next resistance levels. I do see price gravitating higher as long as this 45-degree angle holds. If it holds as support, then it's going to go higher. But if it loses support, then it might take a while to recover. So we'll just pay attention to that. But so far, so good. And I see upward momentum continue. Yeah, I looked at the Nike chart last night too. All these requests are on the Triumvirate live stream last night, guys. And since it's pre-market, nothing has changed. But yeah, I can go over real quickly. So Nike, I just drew a black line there simply because the same situation as that ELF, right? It's underneath a lot of resistance, and now price got rejected by even a previous support right here, right there, rolled up, got rejected, and now price looks like it's rolling over. So it either is going to try to form a base here, or it's going to go back down to my black level there around $67. But either way, I still think it's bearish because it has too much resistance above. You can even put on the Ichimoku there, and you can see that it's still even below that conversion line too, right? It collapsed back below it again. Like it was above it for a moment, and now it's even back below. So I do see more downward pressure, but I think if it can get back above these levels here, maybe above 84.50, then I think it has a chance to recover maybe towards the 90s again, maybe 91, 92, 93. But still, the higher it goes, the more resistance it's going to run into. So it's still going to be a challenge to break through. So really got to focus on getting back above 84.50. That's the first thing. If it can get back above 84.50, then I think it can go higher up into the mid 90s maybe. But if it can't get above 84.50, it might roll over back down to the 70s or even the 60s below. So 84.50, got to watch that. And I see, yeah, the market did just open. So let's take a look at that. I'm not sure if I'm going to get through all of these guys, but yeah, just want to see how things opening here. So yeah, the QQQ, everything's kind of flat, right? It's kind of flat, maybe drifting slowly up. And yeah, SMCI is up, in phase, flat. Yeah, NVDA still looks pretty good, right? 134. Yeah, let's just look at NVIDIA real quick. See, NVIDIA just rocketed up above my green level that I've been talking about for a long time. And once it did that, it just kept going. And now it's even challenging the 886 fib. So if this weekly candle closes back above the 886, I think it's guaranteed to continue to the 140s and 150s and above. So going to watch that 133.88 weekly candle close on log scale here just to see what it does. But yeah, I don't really have much more time than that, guys. So I'll try to cover more tomorrow. But thanks, and just pay attention to those numbers. But I think what we're seeing is just markets slowly drifting up before the election. So probably just got to be a little bit more cautious into the election because there could be a lot of volatility. Because the higher prices go, that means they could go back down a lot lower for a correction. And even though it could be like look like a big percentage or something, it would just be going back down to support. So just got to be careful with that going into the volatility of the election. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.